Alright, so, hello and welcome to Alien Perspective. This video is 20 questions you should ask yourself if you think you might be on the spectrum. Does it ever happen to you where someone asks you a question and you answer with, huh? And then you proceed to actually answer the question? It's as if there's some sort of like autistic social lag time. Alright, I have to show you this one. Okay, so, shirt, right? Okay, if it's a little off, I feel it. Like I feel the unevenness of the seam on my shoulder, and I have to do this. This kind of shoulder rocking is really common that I've seen with autistic people, and I've seen someone else describe it as he felt like he needed to like move his shoulders to get some sort of feeling back in him, or like he needed to help loosen him up. But for me, it's like the shirt is uneven. The seams are uneven on my shoulders. That's pretty damn autistic, isn't it? Alright, we need to talk about something that actually lowers my standard of living. You see that? See those? See these crumbs? I hate crumbs on my feet. Every nanometer of a stale cracker from like 3 days ago is like stepping barefoot on gravel. I'm not saying it hurts, you just feel it, and I can't not focus on it. You know that Cards Against Humanity card, crumbs all over the goddamn carpet? Dude, I get that. I get the person that created that card. I get their anger. I get their frustrations. The point I'm getting at is, are your senses very sensitive? I don't think normal people feel every crumb on their foot. Anyway, I had to walk all over my apartment just to get these 4 crumbs, so I hope you all appreciate my sacrifice. So, do you like trains? That's it. That's the whole question. That's all I needed to ask.
Do you ever get this glowing sense of inner positivity from supporting a tiny YouTube creator? That wasn't one of the autism questions. I was just hoping you'd like and subscribe.
Oh.
Well, hello, and welcome to my stained, I can't scrub these spots off 1970s fridge.
Okay, for real, the reason why Council of Elrond convened us here is meal plan. I go shopping every 2 weeks, so this helps me stay organized. It helps me figure out what ingredients I need for the dishes I'm going to make, and it helps me figure out what I have available to me when I'm actually cooking day of. Okay, I bring this up for 3 reasons. First one is, are you next level organized? I don't mean just like regular person organized, I mean you're like next level organized. I mean creating a list of what your meals are going to be for 2 weeks, and then listing off all the ingredients you need to go shopping for, and then listing the number of meals you'll get out of that. I mean, maybe you don't have to be like that next level autistic. It could be organized about anything, right? It could be your clothing, it could be books, it could be your model train collection.
See, I got a locomotive box, and a cars that are rectangular box, and a cars that are tank-shaped box.
Point is, are you like abnormally organized about some certain somethings? Maybe not everything in your life, but some certain somethings. Second reason to bring up the meal plan is, do you work with routines? Do you work with scheduling? Do you work with planning? To most people, planning and scheduling, it's just some sort of organization tool. But for us, it's next level. It is a way to live by, and they must not be deviated from, or else there are dire consequences. And then reason number 3 is food weirdness. It wouldn't be a broad autism video without food weirdness. So there's the stereotype of the autistic person that eats the same thing for breakfast, the same thing for lunch, and the same thing for dinner every single day. And I have something adjacent where on every one of my meal plans, there's a taco meal, there's a curry meal, there's a salmon meal, there's a deep fried meal, there's a waffle meal. Every 2 weeks, I got those same group of things. So the question to ask yourself is, do you also have a bit of a food routine or a selective group of foods that you cling to? Come here. Hey. Hey, you ready to be in a video? Yeah. Do you have a special connection with animals? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that they're not judgmental of our weirdness, if we kind of have, as autistic people, if we just have that puppy love going on, and maybe we love more similarly. Maybe it's because autistic people typically give sentience to animals and inanimate objects, and maybe the animals really like that. Maybe they somehow sense that. Do you somehow sense it? I don't know what it is, but it seems to be a pattern.
Alright, I look like trash, but you know what? That's okay, because it's going to illustrate my point. Alright, so here's what happened. My routine got messed up. And so now I'm a total wreck. All it took was getting to sleep a little later, waking up way earlier. And that was enough to throw off my sleep. And if something throws off my sleep, I'm just wrecked for the rest of the day. Hey, what's up? Speaking of why I had to wake up early. It's frustrating because it... Well, this is not frustrating. Hi. I did not train him to do this, by the way. It's very frustrating because I know a change in my routine, especially if it happens in the morning, like today, is going to be something that affects my whole day. And what's further frustrating is that it makes me feel powerless. Like, this is one of those autism qualities where I just feel powerless to a change in schedule. I hate feeling powerless. And do you guilt yourself about it? That's another part of the autism experience. Guilting yourself over struggles that you have that other people don't. Ultimately, the question to ask is a change in your schedule, in your routine, in your plans, in your everyday habits, is a change in that something that you just know negatively affects you on a level greater than most people you know, maybe even everyone you know. Probably everyone you know. Is it draining? Is it upsetting? Upsetting in a frustration way? Upsetting in a sad and upset, like you're gonna cry way? Upset in a grumpy way? Something that might be small to another person is a really big deal to us. And I think it's important to differentiate that getting upset or drained or frustrated or just really negatively emotionally impacted by a change in routine, is that something that happens consistently? Of course, everyone gets upset about it sometimes, but no, I'm talking routinely. You are upset by a change in routine, I guess. Okay, bye. I'll keep that take in. I'm too tired to do another. I think I'm ready to be done with this. I'm just proud I made a productive day out of this. Like, normally, when I have a change in sleep especially, whole day, totally wrecked on being productive. Is that another autism quality? Do you have an obsession about being productive every day? Maybe that's just like an America capitalism thing. And I have yet to Gandalf... what is it called? Alright, I'm done.
Do you ever scene transition yourself into another room? And when you walked into the room, you had a goal in mind with what you were going to do. And then you get into the room, and you get distracted by something. I don't know. Maybe something was in the wrong place, and you just got to put it back in the right place. And then you do that, and then you walk out of the room, having not accomplished your original task. Does that regularly happen to you? This one happens to me all the time. Do you find yourself confused in conversations when somebody says something that's imprecise enough to where you can interpret it multiple ways, and you don't quite know which way they meant?
I'm glad we have the Lord of the Rings behind me. I'm glad we have that. All right. Okay, I may be a little too everything to do this video right now, you guys. I'm literally right now, I'm doing the stereotype of the autistic person rotating in the chair and not making eye contact with the camera. So I'm doing a great job. Do you use something such as board games to help you socialize? So it doesn't have to be board games. I don't know. Use your imagination on how it could apply to your own life. But maybe it's going to the model train club. Have I mentioned trains in this video yet?
And then I've got a French box. And then there's a New Haven passenger cars box. And oh god, this is only half of it.
I mean, the basic idea is that you use something, board game being an example, where it structures your socializing, where there's a common topic to talk about. If there's ever an awkward silence, there's a thing to keep progressing on. It's like a framework to your social event.
Okay, I want to talk about gear shifting, right? So when I'm walking the dog, I am in walking the dog mode. In other words, I am not in socializing mode. But because, cute dog, people just want to come up and pet the dog. And it's really hard for me to go from not socializing to socializing. Instead of engaging with the person that's talking with me, I feel like I go into social autopilot mode where I just say things that I've said in similar situations. I kind of feel like a character in Fallout that you as the main character talk with, but that character only has like 7 different things to say and says them on repeat. This isn't actually my dog, by the way. Do you frequently say things that are totally obviously true, at least true to you, and you get this intense negative reaction just unexpectedly? As if you said something too honest, too blunt, too on the nose. You said the quiet part out loud. This is kind of an experience that we have a lot of the time as autistic people where we don't know when it's inappropriate to say something, even if it's totally true. All right, so this one goes in the picky eating category. Are there foods that you've never tried but you are certain you would not enjoy eating them? I used to get so much flack for this as a kid. This could be another question. When you were a kid, did grown-ups complain about what a picky eater you are? Anyway, you get that question, how do you know you don't like it if you haven't tried it? Now for me, the answer was, because I can hear you chewing it, and the sound of you chewing it does not sound like the type of food that I would like. So I don't think I will like what you're eating. You know, maybe the answer for you is that you can smell the food from across the room, which nobody else can, and that smell is just not happening with you. Do you physically cringe all the time at normie people, particularly when they're being really fake and performative? The autism thing that I'm getting here is that we are correctly stereotyped as being very blunt, very honest, very on the nose, and very genuine. And I think that the insincerity of the overly performative fake normie behavior is just super cringe. So you know that phrase, it was like nails on a chalkboard, where it's describing a sound so sharp that it hurts. Do you get that frequently? And it doesn't just have to be sharp sounds. It could be a sharp smell. It could be a sense of touch-oriented thing. Maybe it's how bright my forehead is right now. A really common one is sensitivity to fluorescent lights, where if they're not painful, they're really draining. Now, I don't get the fluorescent light sensitivity. My version is sensitivity to the intense reflection of the sun off of like car oh, you can't see it. There we go, seamless edit. Now look, of course, nobody likes staring into the middle of the sun's reflection on glass, but the point I'm trying to get at is, like, I actually struggle to go outside from like 11:30 to 2:30 on bright days because it's like so intense. And it's that intensity, that's the question you should be asking yourself. Do you regularly get the, whoa, that was a strong opinion kind of reaction from people? Now it can come from people being surprised that anyone would have such a strong opinion about something so particular, or it can come from people not expecting it because there was some unwritten social rule that you don't express strong opinions in the particular setting that you're in. For some reason, I don't know, it's hard to pick up on those kinds of timings. When you're part of a group conversation, do you frequently feel like you're not 100% in the group? Your physical body is there, of course, but it feels like part of you is outside the group, almost as if you're like a third person looking down it, like an alien perspective. Branding. Almost like you're a third person looking down, like a narrator in a book, looking down on the situation that you're also in. So if you connected with a lot of what I said, well, please subscribe for more autistic content, but also take the autism quotient test. I took it here on the channel. Watch other autistic people describe their experiences. I really cannot recommend enough. Please explore this. Do not make the same mistake that I did and just sweep the autism symptoms under the rug and pretend that they don't exist and live your life as if you're not autistic. If you really connected with what I said, please